evening, Stuart and Bill, Mark Osborne, Peter Noddle. Hey. Oh gosh, I'm tired, that's what I am. If anyone wants to know. It hasn't been a particularly productive day. I think I've done a lot of things, but I don't know if I've done anything particularly well or thoroughly. Oh, here we are in the shed. It's a very fine line between having a productive shed and having a tidy shed. I don't know what to do about that. I've been putting stuff away and sorting stuff out, cleaning stuff up. It's a bit of a job. We'll go and have a look. See what's actually been happening. Oh, mold. There's no lights under this mezzanine floor, which is a bit of a problem. But if we can see against the glare of that particular spotlight, which is useless, books are put away. John Pettick, g'day. So, this is getting there. We've got a hole over there to put a shower in at some point. This is sort of, yeah, we've got a clean table here, sort of. We've got a clean floor here where all the books go. We're going to put that table over here somewhere, and this is a good idea, except this is now officially our opening here, so if we put the table in the way, it's going to be a pain. This bench here is supposed to go in there, which is a great idea and it'll be fantastic. But this is no good with no lights. At all. Like, this is useless with no lights. I have got a couple of cupboards all sorted out. I've put my two little moving dollies under there, out of the way, that's good. Welding table goes there, which is next to useless. But until we get some lights, it's next to useless. It's going to come out there, but it won't. And you'll see why in a minute. This one's got mostly roller stuff in it, chemical stuff like that. This one here's got tools and projects, power tools and things in this side, and we're working on it. Projects in this side, you can't see a thing because it's dark. Not helpful. So if we put that bench in there, it's great, but we're going to turn this roll around and push it in here. Back reasonably close. So yes, you'll get past here with enough stuff cleared out, but it's going to be dark in here and you're not going to want to come in here and do any actual work. And the thing is, my lathe's over that side of the workshop. My workbench is here and there's another workbench here. So I'm going to be walking backwards and forwards all the time. It's not well designed. I'm seriously thinking that that workbench would be better off here. That's where I'm at with that. Where these two demountable things are, which are junk. So might pull these out, stick them in there, put that workbench here, and all this stuff find a home for it. So therefore, we've got a decent workbench here under a PowerPoint with a light. Next to the roller, outside, really good next to this workbench. I don't know, this paint thing's supposed to go outside at some point, and we're supposed to put another one of those shelf units there. And if we do that, we've got all the room to put that in there and the workbench in as well, and that's fixed that problem. That might be what's happened, or it might not. Back to the roller, I don't think it's flat. So that's where I'm at. Stuff's just sort of landed here. This has got to go in here. There's a portable to go in front of it, which is awesome. It's great. This tractor at some point after probably Saturday's got to go in the shed up there. So that'll be out of the way. That bench, being my bench, might come over here. And if we've got, means a trip to Shannondale to pick up the cabinet or a trip to Bunnings to buy another one. It doesn't seem to be real forthcoming with the other cabinet, which is actually in use. I've tried pretty hard to get it out of him, but yeah, I haven't really. It just hasn't happened. So if we were to do that and move that and then put all that stuff away and put the bench there, it's not a particularly useful bench, but it is a flat surface. So we could put the toolboxes on the back of the bench and the rest of the stuff could probably go, I reckon that oven could go on the back of that filing cabinet. A lot of that stuff could go away eventually, and it will probably disappear from out of the shed eventually, but I don't know when. That's a project box that's going in the cabinet. Power tools and things going in the cabinet. Box of patterns probably goes in the project cabinet. Spare drills probably go in there somewhere too. So most of this stuff I could pack up out of the way, and I could put the bench over here out of the way. That way we can get to it and we get a light, and at some point when we've got a light in there, we could put it in there where it'll be more useful. And then this area here could be, anyway, we'll think about that. Might be a job for tomorrow, might not. AIDS Workshop, good day. So that's sort of what's happening at this point. I believe that those cupboards there are staying there. There's projects to do, so I've sort of got to leave this here. Or leave it somewhere where I can actually use it. And over there against the wall is probably the best place for the PowerPoints and all that stuff. So that might be the way to go with that. Let's fix that. Messing around with a drain cot or a gauge glass cot. Hope you're doing all right. I hope everything's going. And Mark Shed Talk, good day. Hope everything's going okay for you. So, set this up. I haven't done much else, to be honest. I haven't even cleaned the lathe. It's a mess. I can tie that and machine this to somewhere near the right taper because someone's been trying to lap it in and they've just stuffed it. Machine that to the right taper, and then here's the other half. Probably set this up with a bolt through it, I think. Maybe it's not going to work. I'll set it up somehow. Can't really put it in the forge or like that. Probably could. I'm going to make a plug for this to match that, which you can use for final lapping. And I'm going to set that up and bore it and take 5 thou out of that so that they both all fit together, and it's sorted that. So that's a job. There's definitely no shortage of jobs. Back at work on Monday, so I've still got to get things done. I've been away for a week. There was no live stream last week because I was at Kingsthorpe, which is up near Brisbane, or northwest of Brisbane, west of Brisbane, out near Toowoomba. Did some painting jobs. There's a steamroller that we had to put some writing on, same as that, different to that, but same. Motorway tank I did. What else? And a fairground organ. So that was a good week away with friends. It was good fun. Enjoyed that. Good to be home. Needed the time out though. So I only got home Tuesday morning. I left Monday. Got home Tuesday morning. Stopped the night at Ballina because there was something on Marketplace. Of course, there's always something on Marketplace. That I wanted to pick up on Tuesday morning. So I called past at Yamba and got that out on the island. We'll have a look at that. It's a bit interesting, I think. Everyone knows I like P&N tap and die sets. If this is the best place to put this or not. Well, we've got a clear flat space there. Excellent. And it's over here in the dark, of course, because there's only dark in here. I've got this LED light, which this is not what I bought. But it's supposed to have it with switch cord and plug, and I bought it, right? Couldn't find the receipt to take it back, but it's permanent wire in one, it's not DIY, so that's not particularly useful, and it says it is. So, I guess we put a switch and a plug on it and put it up somewhere. Whether we actually put that in here or whether we put it over there above the workbench or whether we put it up top there so that we would do some work, or we put it over by the milling machine, put it in the kitchen, I don't know. Anyway, that's a job. I'd like to actually get it up at some point. Anyway, we've got a box. I'm going to lift this down. It's not that heavy, but needs some work. All these boxes need work. It's probably time I did this. It's a P&N box. Patience and Nicholson, Maryborough. It's a Queensland box. It actually says Maryborough, Victoria. I'm not sure Maryborough's in Victoria, or maybe. We could have a look at some of the other boxes and say what they say. There's a test. I think that's a Southerns box, that one. But getting to it's a bit difficult. And the label's on the front. So anyway, this one here's another one. And this one. Believe there's another one up on top of that cupboard. Anyway, this one's a bit interesting. John's rake handle work. That's excellent. Good stuff. I just fitted the shovel handle and it wasn't much. Anyway, this is just a P&N die set with a difference. Right? Do we notice anything? There we go. So, brass threads. 1/4 inch to 3/4, I think. Yeah, 1/4 to 3/4 brass, 26 TPI. I'm guessing none of it's done any work, because how often do you use brass thread in anything that requires a sharp tool? Not very often. Brass threads, 26 TPI. Fair enough, Bill, we'll just imagine it ourselves. So, bicycles, electrical fittings, musical instruments use brass threads, if anyone's interested. Probably not particularly useful unless you're going to put some lamp fittings together, or repair a bicycle, or thread bits for a flute. But JB, g'day. But interesting find, and it was the right price, so I grabbed it. But we've got a set of brass threads, which may or may not be useful. Now, these boxes are all pulled out here, right? The sides pulled out of these where they're screwed in. It's a bit ordinary out of the outside. Well, this one's out of the inside, actually. I believe these are pine, they're hoop pine. The problem with them is that they're very rarely flat. So I'm going to ask someone at work about fixing this. I'd like to fix them all. I've got about 5 of these boxes, and I could probably fill a couple of them up and move them on, because I've got a lot of bits. So I'd like to put the hinges back on this and get it all going. Get all this straight and working. This one's bent. This one's bent over double too. Not helpful. Don't know why anyone would bend them over. Must have got caught on something. It needs straightening out and fixing. See this? They're supposed to be like that, and then they hook onto that screw. Anyway, got them. I'll give the box a bit of a clean up and see if we can straighten it out a bit, and maybe fix it. So, and then I can do, this one's got exactly the same problem. This one's not too bad, but it's got a bit of the problem. What else have I got in P&N boxes? We'll go down here and have a look. I know there's a couple of others kicking around too. There's this one too, the lid hardly shuts on. This one here is Whitworth. It's a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 3/4 size box. This one, it's a nice set. This one's exactly the same set. Yeah, that one's BA, and I've got one of them somewhere that's metric in that size. So it's a matter of sorting them through and finding thread taps and dies that are okay and putting them together. Maybe getting rid of a couple. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, that was the purchase. Went and saw Mark. Donated the shed some coffee cups, which is awesome. They're over in the kitchen. Went to the foundry, stayed with my friend Karen. Went to the beach. Basically did the holiday thing for a bit. End up with some castings. Let's have a look at some castings. I dropped a 1/2 inch nut there. Right, this one worked out sort of. It's not a bad casting actually. It needs a clean up. I'm going to get in and give it a bit of a wire wheel up and cut some of the extras off it. Of course, I can't machine this yet because parting line lined up reasonably well because we haven't got three-phase power. But this is the top half of a bearing for a Clayton and Shuttleworth 2.5 horsepower portable engine. There should be 2 of them, but one of them went back in the pot because someone messed up. So got that, it's done. There were some other castings too. I wonder what happened to them. I've sort of been cleaning up since then. They could still be in the car, to be honest. Anyway, castings for the legs on the lathe for the donation box. So that was another job. They're a bit rough in places. They're upstairs on the bed. They're not in the car. They're upstairs on the bed desk. But we'll give them a clean up. I meant to do that today, and I haven't. So there we go. This is a kit that someone pointed out I stuffed up. I'm changing the subject here. It's a Stewart Progress, and I haven't really got back into it, to be honest. Some flange roller bearings there, I don't know what they're for. And a gland that they resent, and some cylinder cladding. And the cylinder I got nearly finished. It's looking pretty good except for one thing. Someone pointed out. There's a flywheel and a crank. It's a tap or something, no idea what. Little brass tap. And some bits of stock, like seriously, they don't give you any extra. So there's a crankshaft and a pin to go through there, I think, and some brass stock to make something. This, I thought there was a fastener kit with this as well, but I haven't seen that. Don't know where they went. I'd have a bit of a look around. Anyway, I put this on and I got these 1/6 of a turn out, or 1/12 of a turn out, when I put the covers on. Not going to change it. I was thinking I was going to fix it. Don't think it matters. The only difference is that one of these bolts goes through the port. It's going to have a shorter bolt in it on each end. So I don't think it's going to worry anything, to be honest. So it's a matter of machining this up. Right. Machining this up and putting it on a crank, like so. Machine the flywheel to fit it. Machine the base and screwing it down. And putting it all together. For Stewart castings, I guess they're probably not bad. It's a bit of lathe work, a bit of mill work, but probably I'm going to do this without the mill because I think I'd like to get in and have a go at it tomorrow and see how we go. So whether we get a video or what, I don't know. I could take it with video. I don't know how much I'll get done after I get that valve sorted. It's a nice little engine. I like to see it running. Get this one finished and on the shelf somewhere. Then we can seriously think about something a bit more serious. Finishing something else. Nice little flywheel. Probably not a big job to set that up and machine it. Get it somewhere near straight, maybe. There's a crankshaft. I can't remember whether it's threaded or so it's got a screw in it or what. Hold that in place and then it's machined afterwards. The balance weight and everything on it. It spins around on there, I think. Anyway, I'll have to find the book for it. The Stewart Progress book is probably here. It could be somewhere else. Don't know. No idea where that is. Have a bit of a look. A bit of gasket paper with it. So that might be a project that I'll get in and do some tomorrow if I get a chance. See how I go. See what the weather's like. See if it rains all night. It's been raining here tonight. Just had a shower. If there's no electricity tomorrow, I mightn't get anything done. But I'd like to get that valve sort of 3/4 sorted. And I'd like to have a bit of a play with that. That means that I've got to find the book, which is probably on the top shelf of that bookshelf somewhere, I think. I haven't actually found it. I have seen it somewhere, actually. That's not a good sign. No idea where. Anyway, that's sort of what's happening. The boys went and found a bathroom door. They went up to Lismore somewhere on Sunday. And picked up a bathroom door, it was sitting over there. Could go and have a look at it, but it's leaning up over there. That's a good score. It's a decent door. It's got dust guard under it. It's someone's back door, I would imagine. And it's got a decent lock set on it, all that stuff. It's not got a privacy lock on it, but the door should be pretty good. It's in good nick and it's got a frame and everything, so it's just a matter of standing it up and putting it in place. That's a good score. We're looking for free stuff on Marketplace, but we've really got to work out what we've got to fit in here first. I know that this steamroller's got to go in here, and it's only a matter of another 5 live streams or something that'll be here in the shed. It'll go soon enough. Excuse me. Air compressor's been going. I've been using that to blow stuff down and clean stuff out. I need to move the coal out of the back of the bunker at some point on the roller, empty that. Need to take the hose off. All those sort of things. This is turning rapidly into a stream of I've got to do this. This is the plan. You know that none of it's going to get done, but it's good to make plans, I guess. I've got tomorrow and Friday. Saturday the boys will be here. Sunday I've probably got a relax and washing day, stuff like that. I don't know. I also mowed the lawns yesterday when I got home. The lawnmower's gone. You notice that? It's back in the shed up there, which is great. They've only been mowed, 10 days ago, so it was a really nice job, and they've come up really nice. Hopefully we'll get enough moisture to not make it into a dust bowl. Looks nice with them short and tidy, and it keeps the snakes and things away too, and the goannas from chasing the bird eggs and things. So there we go. What else to report? What's everyone else up to? Calendars come, posted the last ones of them out now. There's none left. There was 9 left and I've sold them all on my trip. So I don't believe there's any left. I may have one as a giveaway. At some point, but you know what I'm like with posting stuff. So, and being a calendar, it needs to be a giveaway now, really. Haven't thought about that. I'm just cleaning stuff out, finding stuff that I've had for many, many years. I haven't found a Leatherman. I've got no idea where my Leatherman is. I'm suspicious that it's upstairs in my stationery drawers, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I've even got it or whether it's been lost or what. It'd be very nice to have a Leatherman. At the moment I've got a Gerber pocket knife in my pocket, which is kind of okay, but the poor thing's had a It's got a China export sticker on it. I wonder where that come from. Anyway, bolt action Gerber's not a bad knife, but it'd be very nice if it was a Leatherman. And it could do with the sharpen. Actually, it's not bad. This one's pretty indestructible because we know this because it's been run over by a bulldozer years ago. But it's good because you can close it with one hand. Nice. I also got a fair bit of sun this week. So, try and keep a pocket knife because I always sort of need one down here in the country. I don't know. Whether I'll end up taking that for work, I don't know. Might be useful. Another job between now and Saturday is to take the fire bars out of the roller. Someone wants to come give me a hand with that, you're very welcome to. A knuckle down may only take half hour, but it's a really dirty, filthy job. If I did it now, I could go and have a shower, I guess, after live stream. But I'm not feeling it. Well, I went to start the tractor today yesterday and it didn't start. Bit strange that. I haven't got a tripod for this thing. I do have a tripod for the phone. Don't know where it went. I had it here like an hour ago. No idea where I put it. Sorry, guys. Or I'll try and start it now. It has been starting pretty nicely. Might give it a run. It's a bit late now. Might give it a run tomorrow. Move it out of the shed and back. Something like that. Oh my gosh. It's a Middle Eastern traveller. Hey, that sounds awesome. I went 4 hours up the coast. That's about all I did. But anyway, I got some stuff done. I don't think it was really a break. It was a gap away, but I did some work. My canopy's starting to fall to bits, so I'm not happy with that. It's obviously never had enough to keep the water out, and I think it needs probably some more timber in it. So I was talking to Chris today from work because he called past, and he says, "Oh, we'll cut you some decent timber," and that's great. I've just got to pull the thing off and do it on the ground, and it's a bit of a job. I haven't got really room for it here. What I'd like to do perhaps is when the roller goes out of here, Neighbouring Importer, when it's here for a little while and then it's got a shed up there, when we finish the shed up there, we might lift that out and pull the roller out from under it and drop it down, put it over here and push the roller back in, and then we can do a job on that. Put some new timber on it, some proper hardwood, and lift it back in, give it a coat of paint again, all that stuff. Canopies on rollers and steam engines are a full-time job. I'm not real happy with how that one's held up because it had a lot of pine in it that I didn't put in it, but someone did. Can't compete with a $40 knife. It's a Gerber. It wasn't ever a $40 knife. But in the workshop here, this is probably something I should have added. In the workshop here, not even going to get up. This cylinder has my workshop knife in it. That's very nice. Very nice. It's a Bill Baggins knife. It's got a little B there in the corner. Can you see that? Don't know if you can. Maybe. brass rivets. He'll tell you all about it, but very useful thing. Gets used all the time and goes back in its Bill Baggins tube. See? So I've got projects to do. I've got things to do. I've got stuff that I've got 3 days left, and I've got a crap load of stuff to do, and I don't feel like I've achieved any of it. I haven't really got time to mess with steam engines, but I've got to have some time for myself. I'd like to put donations on this board, subpoint. Probably I'll unscrew it and do it. We've got that plate on there. We're making a bit of progress on this slowly. Like to get some bits up and running and sort it out so that we can make it work. Got a box of, where did they go? No idea where they went. There's a box of 2.5mm dowel pins, and I think they're in the car, because I was going to go to a hobby shop while I was up there, and the hobby shop I went to was closed on Friday before Christmas. Like, shut down and moved. Don't know if they've moved or whether they've just gone or what it is. But didn't go there. I was going to get some brass tube to fit over the dowel pins for shoulders and neck pins, things like that. Anyway, we have got heads. Work in progress. But I'd like to really get in and get some work done on this too. Bill, if you do a run of folders, decent folders, whether it's like this or whatever, and it's a nice knife, don't think you'd have any problem selling them. Just got to put the right price on it. I'd have one. What else? I haven't even looked at the shower cubicle there. Someone else probably could come and do that. The club member wants to sit down with a razor blade and clean all the silicone off around their doorway. That'd be great. But I'm guessing it's me that's going to do it, and it just hasn't happened. I've also got the electrolysis bath, and Dan's here yesterday saying, "You finished with it? You finished with it? Will we empty it out? Will we empty it out?" I don't think I have finished with it. I think I'd like to put that cylinder in it at some point. I'd like to have a bench to put it on though, so it's pity to empty it out and then cart 5 or 6 big buckets of water down here because there's no water, and wasting some more washing soda. So I'm probably going to leave it there until I've got a bench and sit it up on this bench over there and put that little steam engine cylinder in it and see if we can free it up. Anyway, don't know if it'll work, but we could try. It's worth a try. There's a lot of rust in it. Some of it might dissolve out. Anyway, that's all that's happening. It's me having a whinge. Folders are a pain, yeah, I believe they might be. That's what I've heard. A new edition of Rolling, the Road Roller Association magazine, come yesterday, or last week. It's in there on the kitchen. It's been wet in Joe's Nathan box on the Gold Coast. I haven't actually read it. I might go in after dinner and sit down and read it. I'll put it in the car anyway, and then I can read it at lunchtime next week. Haven't really gone through it. Some nice pictures. That's about all I've seen of it. There's a heap of junk upstairs. Now we've got all this cleared, and we should have all this sorted by the time I go back to work, benches and things organised and everything moved around, I need to start on upstairs, and I don't know what to do up there. Put stuff in boxes, I guess, and stack them up. Try and consolidate a bit, because it's sort of my personal stuff from my bedroom mostly. Need something doing with it. Really exciting stream. I sound animated when we're looking at concrete, and I'm sorry about that. Oh, here's another thing we picked up. My mate Patrick, I called him and saw him. He's a great guy. Asked me if he had any scrap brass, and he wouldn't take money for it. So this is what I've got. I've got 2 buckets. We put them on the scales. There's about 50 kilos here. I'm not going to move them. It's an empty Sear sponge box. I'll toss that. But anyway, what have we got here? Some stuff in my paint box, etc. I'll put that away in a minute. Anyway, take care, John. Thanks for letting us know about the rake handle. So, there's a lot of these. I think there's 28 kilos or something this one, 22 in that one. Something like that. These look like bronze, right? And probably good bronze for bearings or whatever. Occasionally there's one that looks like this, which is a different colour. That one might be bronze. That one's got a bit of copper in it, might be bronze. This one, they're all worn out. They're out of pumps. Some of them are quite big. Don't know, pipe fittings. I guess they're bronze or gunmetal or something. Now, the question to the Brains Trust and people who know stuff, Aid might be one of those if he's still watching. How do I tell what's bronze? And what's aluminium bronze? Is there any aluminium bronze here? Probably in this bucket there's not. That's probably, that's out of a float valve, that's probably not aluminium bronze. I think most of this is just ordinary bronze. Some of them are pretty damaged. However, that's definitely brass, right? It's a different colour. We know that. And this is shiny, so is that aluminium bronze? How do we tell? Has anyone got a foolproof method of telling the difference so we don't make aluminium bronze bearings? So some of these are either newer and shiny, or they're actually got some aluminium in them and they don't tarnish. If anyone's got any thoughts, I'd very much like to hear. See the difference there? Anyway, there's 50 kilos there and it'll certainly do some jobs. Some main bearings for engines, some parts for my little engine, some parts for William's little engines, some parts for... Aluminium bronze is a lighter colour, yeah. Certainly does. There probably is a spark pattern, and it probably doesn't. Our bronze doesn't spark, so I don't know. I know it's a bit harder, and it probably files a bit harder, and machine's a bit harder. It's not real easy to compare them either. She's got two bits the same. Anyway, if there was an actual way to determine which ones have got aluminium and which ones haven't, it'd be great. But apart from that, there's plenty there to go on with. That's a bit of a score. If it's slightly magnetic, it would be aluminium. Maybe. Weight might be the thing. Unless you've got two the same to compare them, though, that's very difficult. Aluminium is not magnetic. That's fair. See, the trouble is you don't need very much aluminium in bronze to make it eutectic and make it hard to machine and hard wearing and make it pick up on it or make it scratch a steel journal. Iron is added to aluminium bronze in many cases. I'm not sure about that, but maybe it is. I'll go through it with a magnet anyway. But the question is, the fourth wise man, that might be very useful. What am I trying to figure out? I've got this 50 kilos of bronze here, right? And it's destined for the foundry pot, right? 50 kilos is 500, 600 bucks worth of bronze there. Very good. Score. But if it's got aluminium in any of it, 2% aluminium in bronze casting sort of makes it an aluminium bronze casting, which makes it not particularly lubricating and not particularly soft and hard on shafts and things. So what I'd like to do is tell which is aluminium bronze and which is bronze. We might go through and find none of it's aluminium bronze, but I'd like a way to find it. Maybe hydrochloric acid is the answer. So that's what we're trying to work out, is how much of this stuff can we melt down? Without contaminating them with aluminium and making a material that's impossible to machine. Weight too, but unless you've got two to compare, it's very difficult to tell how much weight unless you calculate the volume. But then aluminium bronze is generally only, 3, 4, 5% aluminium, if that. Etching alkalines. Maybe. I would say honestly that it's a long shot whether any of that is actually aluminium bronze. no, they're all the same application, all the same bits from the same job, so it'd be unusual that any of them are aluminium bronze. But maybe it all is, I don't know. I know some of it's not because I can tell by the colour. But some of it, right? We'll go over here where there's actual light. Right. There you go. I'm not trying to separate them because you can't really, but trying not to melt the whole lot down and have aluminium in them so that we don't have aluminium bronze for bearings. Because good soft bronze for the steam engine bearings on big shafts at slow speed with ordinary oiling system is better than having a hard aluminium bronze that's going to groove up the crankshaft and so forth. So don't think you can separate them once they're mixed, but they've just got different properties and aluminium bronze is not so good. I'll have to do some Google and some searching and find out what I can find out. But see, this one's this colour. Are they the same? Don't know. No, generally aluminium bronze is a eutectic metal. I think that's the right word. What happens if you add 5% aluminium to your bronze, you get a very hard wearing, very difficult to machine metal that's tough. And I think the file is probably the best way. You get a tough material that you can't machine, and it's probably all right on a chrome shaft. It's not particularly, or on a hard shaft, it's not particularly good on a soft metal or an iron crankshaft. So different 5% aluminium in your bronze is a completely different material, which is available off the shelf. But its wear characteristics are completely different and all those sort of things. So, yeah, well, the inner ring's definitely a different colour, see? Look at that. Yeah, I'll give it a tap and file up. I'll go through them at some point one night next week and see what I can do. It's not going to happen before I go back. There's 2 buckets of bronze there that are too hard to lift. It will eventually get melted down into castings similar to this one. This is pretty good quality PB1, I believe. And that's that colour, see? Only because the castings were melted down were actual PB1. This needs a fair bit of work on the grinder. Hit it with the cut-off wheel and cut this off and this off. See, it's got a fair bit of flashing on it. And then we'll start machining it up. So that's the sort of thing we're doing. That's the main bearing for a steam engine. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. brought the trolley over here and put the scroll saw on it this week. The scroll saw needs some work. Yeah, that's true too. About manganese bronze and silicon bronze and probably phosphor bronze. Now most of these out of pumps, and I would imagine most of it's phosphor bronze. Yeah, some of it could be manganese bronze, but the most typical material for pump seals would be phosphor bronze, I would imagine, because it doesn't... It's a little bit less prone to having the zinc washed out of it, I think. So I'm sort of hoping it's all phosphor bronze. It'd be very nice. But you only need 1% aluminium in it and you've got problems. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Here in the shed, that's what's pretty much happening. Yeah, pretty stuffed really. And it'd be very good to get to bed and have a good sleep again tonight. I slept late this morning. No one turned up for work in bed because it's New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. But tomorrow's New Year's Day and hopefully I won't get disturbed. I might have a bit of a sleep in. We'll see how we go. Go check out Aid's channel. He was on chat in chat there. Aid's workshop. Go and have a look there. Who else was there today? Didn't see James B, but you should check him out. JB was here. I don't know if JB's still making videos, but he's got some good stuff. You should check that out. Anyway, that's what's happening. I'm sort of about done. I've got a clear floor. We're going to push the roller out, turn it round, give it a good wash up. Push it back in here, front forwards, back into here, and there'll be room in front for a portable engine. This railway tug's going back out in the shed, and there'll be room on the other side for a Aveling steamroller in very sad condition, much sadder than this one. That might work too. I'm going to have a look into that. Now, different flame colours, that's probably not a bad idea. We'll have a think about that. It's no great rush, but I'll be back up at the foundry in the next week or so, I guess. A couple of weeks. There's jobs to do. I've got patterns to make before then. So it's going to be all on. Yeah, that's how we go. Got to find somewhere to put this basket now it's off the roller. I took it off. I've been trying to get this basket off the roller for a couple of years actually. It's ugly. I don't want it. It's very Australian. It's 1970s edition. I'm not a big fan. It's not what I want on my roller. It's my roller. going to get rid of it. Then everyone's like, oh, we're doing a road run, we really need the basket on it. So the basket goes back on. Now the basket's off, the basket's staying off, I think. I don't know where we're going to put it. I'm going to have to put the number plate back on this at some point, somewhere. I really need to do something about this ugly toolbox and the injector, which is down here. So we've moved this around so there's more room on the back of behind the roller, because when we move that in here, it's going to come to about here somewhere, and there should be room for a 4 horsepower Roby portable in front of it. And we've got the basket off to give us a bit more room to walk past. But we've got to find somewhere to put the basket now. Take care, Bill. Thanks again for everything. I'm going to probably collapse too. But so the basket's off, and it looks better with the basket off, and it doesn't fill up with water or get wet or rusty or anything. But we need to clean the coal out, give it all a good wash down, put it back in here, and start the preparation for the next event in July. So you can't procrastinate that much longer. There's all this space up here too. Lawnmower was here, I got rid of that. And there's 2 cabinets were here, got rid of them. There's a project happening here, which is see you on Tuesday, Bill. Which is a to-do list blackboard. Good to see you. Appreciate your input too. Appreciate you jumping on chat. That's really good. We're all regulars. I stream every Wednesday night here at the shed, and lately it's been a bit boring because I've been stuffed after our National Steam Rally, so this hasn't actually had any work done on it. Steam model projects haven't had anything done. Our workshop projects haven't been done. We've got no 3-phase powers. I think I'm back. Anyway, sorry guys. We're out anyway. Phone went flat. I've just plugged it in. We're all going pretty good. My computer screen's all filthy dirty from fingerprints. I should fix that. I'm upstairs with the phone plugged in, sitting at the desk. Sorry about that. But anyway, we were about an hour up anyway, so I might just move on and do a few little jobs. But thanks for joining in, everyone. Really appreciate it. I'm sorry about the lag. And I'm going to end this stream and say I'm out. Thanks, guys. I'll be on Discord for a while, probably.